How are you doing today, Jacob?
Good. We're good to go.
Sweet. Cool. It's been a crazy week. A bunch of stuff. Good weather though. It's getting warm.
It's getting warm up. False fall just happened. So now we're warm up again, and then we'll kind of get into the fall weather coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like the fall. I do.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the fall. The winter, like I've said thousands of times, is brutal. But the fall is very calming. I love when the leaves change.
Yeah, I do too. I grew up in South Dakota, and it's like clockwork, the seasons. And I was away for a while, which we'll probably get into, but then came back because it's the fall, the leaves change, and the winter is like clockwork, right? Yeah. This is the way school starts, winter, then spring, and then the summer months, and it's like a pattern.
Yeah, it's very calming. Oh, pull it just a little bit closer. And hey, did you go to the Ribs Rods?
I was there. Yeah.
Okay. Did you go both days? Friday.
Yep, I went Friday night because I'm involved with the Boys and Girls Club, so we were selling raffle tickets for the shed that was there.
Yeah.
So I was there Friday night. Saturday morning, I did a margarita ride where we biked for 30 miles, and then we sold more tickets in the afternoon.
There was a bike ride?
Yeah, it was started at the Eagles.
Uh-huh.
And they have it every year. It's called the Margarita Ride. So you're
right.
It was in the morning.
Okay.
We try to get started early so then you can, take part in Ribs Rods later in the day.
Oh, okay. That's why I missed it. Because on Saturday, was it Saturday? Yeah. I think my daughter had a soccer tournament somewhere. Oh yeah, it was there at Barstow, I think. Was it? I'm having bad memories.
Yeah, Saturday was kind of the big, all the cars were there, the car show.
Yeah. And it was great. We, me and a friend, we went there like around 4:30ish. We were shooting some video. I just barely uploaded today. We did like a little.
Yeah, I saw it. It was very good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. It was fun. I remember. So last year, I had the idea about it and I asked Mason. Mason Booth is the one that he does the filming and the editing on it. It's amazing. I just talk as much as I can, and I was looking back on the video. I'm like, man, dude, I am not that. I say I pause a lot, but that's how I am. But he did a great job, and this year was cool because I asked more vendors and even the crafts, and it was fun, and we covered more. And the thing that kind of stopped us from getting everyone was our battery. His camera died again. Last year was the same thing. Camera died, and then Mason brought 2 batteries. And we got more footage, but it died. So we missed the scouts, the boys and girls like y'all, and other stuff. And I was like, next year.
Right, but it was very professional made. You could tell, so it was very, that was very, very well made.
Yeah, thanks. I'm telling you, it's not me. It's all him. Yeah. Mason I don't know how he does it, because I was looking I got there a little more earlier to shoot some of the footage of the cars, because car show was going to end. And then I was looking at my phone and then his footage. I was like, you know what? We'll stick with your stuff.
It was so funny because earlier in the day we were selling tickets for this raffle. And I was like, oh, what if there was somebody here that just went around and kind of introduced all the vendors, and then over the loudspeaker, you could have a video afterwards, but then do it live.
Yeah.
I know they did that a little bit. But so that was awesome. You guys did that.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. It was a month ago, and over the summer, I got invited to become the host, the MC for the computer science, or they had the AI symposium in Sioux Falls. That was I guess it was also live. So that was I was nervous that first day, but it was cool. I liked it. And I've been having the idea. I've talked with like Katie Heine and other people. I wanted to do same thing, like a live community event thingy, same thing, something like this. Right. And then, I don't know, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, just community members, events, fundraiser. I know how to do the program. I've been messing with it just over the summer. Actually, this whole year I've been very busy. But it'll be kind of cool, especially during the holidays, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I have some stuff like that.
Right. There's always stuff to do.
Yeah.
Right. When you have the initiative and have some momentum. Right.
Yeah. But enough about me. I actually, so I talked with Sydney Davis the first time. I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And she gave me recommendations, and she recommended you. So she gave me the phone number. a while back. I just never contacted you. First of all, if I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of scared.
Yeah.
Because with all these people that were, I would ask like, hey, who do you recommend? And they give me these contacts of people. And back then I was like, there's no way they're gonna say yes. Cause I was so like, man, I'm so tiny. I still think I'm small. And then I was like, well, let me shoot the shot real quick. I've been having other people. I was like, hey, let me message Jacob Quail. It'll be very interesting, especially someone in the medical field. And then, you're like, sure.
Right. You never know if you don't ask.
Exactly.
Right. So you just got to do it. And, the medical stuff aside, I work in like the Boys and Girls Club and other things. And you just got to, I work in a little bit in the fundraising. You just got to ask. People want to be asked.
Yeah.
Right. You got to change the mindset. Like people want to be asked for things. Right. So.
Yeah. So, well, before we get into it, why the Boys and Girls Club, or what else are you involved in?
This episode is brought to you by 5 Star Barbershop. Are y'all guys looking for a place to get a haircut? I recommend 5 Star Barbershop. They're the #1 barbershop in the southeast region of South Dakota. From haircuts, beards, eyebrows, shampoo, you name it. They also offer discounts for students and athletes. I will add their link so you can make an appointment because they get very, very busy. Now let's get back to it.
Yeah, so I guess I'm a surgeon, of course, at Sanford Vermillion here. I've been here for 5 years with my family, and we are very community minded. The Boys and Girls Club started a few years ago, and it was kind of in the works for some time. But then, of course, COVID, right? And so COVID happened, everything got delayed a little bit, but then we finally got it up and started. So, I was asked to be on that board. So I'm on the board for the Boys and Girls Club, and then I'm also Rotarian. We talked about Rotary Club already a little bit. So, that's, service before self, very important. You were there, you presented, you did a great job. And, I'm also the medical director of the PA school here, and I'm also on the Booster Club, right? So in a small town, there's so many opportunities to get involved, right? And so that's what we did when we came back. My wife, she's got her other stuff going on, but so.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from South Dakota.
South Dakota?
Yeah.
What part?
I grew up on a small farm near Volga, South Dakota. So that's near Brookings. So it's a century farm. It's been in the family for a long time. I went to Sioux Valley High School. It's another Class A school up about 4 miles west of Brookings. Mm-hmm. So that's where we grew up. And my parents are both teachers at Sioux Valley, and my brother and sister are both teachers. I'm very proud of them and what they do for in public education. And then I ended up going to med school. So, so that's how we got, then I was gone for some time, but then we got back, we moved back in 2020.
Okay. So why Vermillion and not like Brookings or Sioux Falls?
Yes. So I went to Augustana for college, and it was Augustana College back then, right? It's from 2001 to 2005. And then I went to med school at University of Minnesota, Minneapolis. Oh. So I went up there. My wife's from Worthington, Minnesota. She went to Augie too. We met there. So we had a little bit of a Minnesota connection. That's where her family's from. So I went to med school there, and then I joined the Navy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I was a Navy surgeon for 11 years. Probably didn't ask all this, but I'll go into it. But yeah, I did my surgery residency in San Diego. So we lived in San Diego from 2009 to 2015. Then we were in Guam from 2015 to 2018, and then Camp Pendleton for 2 more years. So 11 years in the active duty military. My time was paid back in 2020, so we decided we wanted to come back to South Dakota. So to get to your question, when we were interviewing, there's a couple places we interviewed that had openings, and we came to Vermillion. And after the interview, my wife was like, "Oh man, this is where we want to be."
Really?
Cool. So we moved back. I got 3 kids, my wife, and so I wanted to move back to somewhere. I wanted to be somewhere like I had growing up, small town. You can do a little bit of everything, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I like that. It's I've been talking a little bit about community with some with my wife.
Yeah.
Because we do like it. actually, we do love it. We do love it here, especially it's so different. It's way different than the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I was recently there over the Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
And when I got there, it's Dallas-Fort Worth, and it's bigger, which is it's cool because it's growing this and that. But that's also a problem. It's growing. There's a lot of people, but also there are a lot of opportunities. But man, there is a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, then in San Diego, Southern California, we lived there for some time, and your kids maybe could do like one or two things, right? It's just, but here they can do everything, and they can be, every kid, just average, and do so many different things. Sports, music, theater, academic opportunities. They got it all here in Vermillion, especially with the university here, and we got the great public schools here. So, yeah.
Would you ever move to a city, or you think?
Well, I did it. Yeah. So I grew up in a farm, went to Sioux Falls, went to Minneapolis, went to San Diego. And then we went to an island for 3 years, and then I was in Okinawa for a little bit. So we got a little bit of everything. So, and we wanted to be kind of stable. We were moving every 2 or 3 years, and so my kids were getting school age, and we just wanted a little bit of stability there. So
okay. So why'd you join the Navy?
Yeah, so a good question. We were not really a military family. I was a freshman at Augustana 24 years ago, 2001, and 9/11 happened yesterday, right? Yeah. So 9/11 was yesterday. So I remember being in chemistry lab. I kind of wanted to do medicine. Again, nobody in my family went that route, but I wanted to do, and then 9/11 happened, and I was like, I need to do something more. I want to do something, more than myself. And there was a Navy recruiter, and we talked, and so that's how we got into. I guess the Navy recruiter got me to go in the Navy, and there's great bases, on the Navy side, on the coast. You can do a lot of great traveling, but it's a great thing to serve. You can serve your country, or we're talking about here now, you serve your community, right? So I just wanted to do something greater than myself, and that's what I ended up doing.
Cool. And you did it for, you said
11 years.
11
so
years?
I was active duty for 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that how? So okay, you're at Augustana.
Yeah.
And you graduate, then you go to the Navy?
No, I graduated. I entered the scholarship program where if you get the scholarship, you go to medical school, the Navy pays for your medical school, called HPSP. So before I started medical school, I trained. I went to a 5 weeks training in Newport, Rhode Island, as officer training. And then every year during med school, you have to do this 2-week rotation where you're active. Mm-hmm. And then after you graduate from med school, you go to your residency, usually in the military.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's civilian residencies where you get your medical training, and there's also military residencies. So then I did my residency at Naval Medical Center, San Diego, in Balboa. This is in Balboa Park, right in the middle of San Diego. So, yeah.
Cool. Now I'm just going to ask it, like I always ask everyone, did you always want to become a surgeon?
No, I don't know. In high school, I was like, oh, I like science. Mm-hmm. I'm not a great teacher. I was told that before. But I work, I grew up in a family of learners and lifelong learning, and, doing all that stuff, reading. And I was like, oh, maybe this. And then I like science. So I went to college. It's like, oh, I like the program. I'll just, try to biology, chemistry. Did a year research down here at USD with Bryn.
Oh, snap. Really?
Yeah. So I know you work with Bryn, right?
Yeah.
So I was a Bryn for like a summer. That was a long time ago. That was like 2002 or 2003. I worked with Dr. Mike Chaucy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was there, and, and I see him around here too sometimes. So yeah,
What? Okay.
Yeah.
That's super small world sometimes.
Right. That's what the thing. You come back. I was like, I was gone for 11 years. You come back, they're the same people.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a brand. So that was a great experience. Then I got my biology degree and then went to med school.
Okay. So when you were thinking about med school, like, I worked with students, and one of my friends is Andy. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I keep saying it wrong. I think it's Goyman. So my bad, Andy. I think he just I think last semester, I think he's graduated now. And then same thing. I know, like in our community group at church, there's a bunch of med students, and man, they are stressed.
Yeah.
And they're always busy. When you started it, did you think it was gonna be like that, or how was it for you, the experience?
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing, everybody's busy. Everyone says they're busy. Oh, everybody in the world is busy, right? So we live in a busy place. And people say, oh, how did you study? I'm like, I just read. I got my textbooks and I would read textbooks, and now they're not even textbooks anymore, right? So I'm like, I don't know how I would study right now. Right. So I would sit down for hours, and just read and read. And I did that in college. I had to study. Some people, they go through, I don't have to study. I just do. But there's going to be a point where you go into, graduate school. You need to be studying, right? Not even if you have an assignment, you have to be reading all the time, right? And so that's, I'm trying to work on my kids. My oldest is a sophomore. He's like, I just got some homework. No, but did you study? Are you preparing all the time, right? So I think that's something that I talk to med school students that kind of maybe they rotate to a clinic, or the PA students. You got to be doing this all the time. So, yeah. Man,
I remember when I was in school, I thought, so I'm doing this like high school and elementary school, middle school. I think it's fine. You could kind of breeze through. Okay, I could breeze through it. And then college hits, and I'm fine. I'm doing fine. I remember this. And then I was taking, it was chemistry and physics, and then we had the labs. And the labs were way different. I didn't know what it was going to be like. And then, I found out, whoa, you kind of have to study. And, I remember it wasn't even a science class. Before that, I was taking, it was statistics, and there was something else, and biostatistics. I took one of those over the summer. And it was one of those courses where it's a summer class. I think it's like a month and a half or something like that. Yeah. And it was every day. And that was the first time I had to study. Like, I would come home studying, doing stuff and reading it and doing all the problems. And then I found out, if you study, you can learn a lot. Yeah, exactly.
And then I try to tell my kids too. They get upset when they're tested on something maybe their teacher didn't tell them. I'm like, they can't tell you everything. You need to be learning, everything, and you're never going to know everything, but you need to learn to learn what you used in the past and remember that, and then you can use it now. Right. So you can't just learn what they give you.
Yep.
You need to expand your horizon, for the subject matter. And then, so that's super important too.
Yeah. One thing I've learned to, I forgot my professor's name back then, but I would have some of the professors. They're all great, but you'll have like, tests, you kind of, memorize the stuff and it's all cool. But then you have those professors that give you those critical thinking skills.
Right.
And I'm like, that wasn't on the stuff you taught us, but I don't know how it turned out. But that stuff is cool, especially in life. It's different just, memorizing something.
100%.
But then how do you also apply it?
Exactly. And that's exactly what we talk about to our med students and PA students. We're so good at taking tests. We're so good at studying. But now when you get into later years in your schooling, how are you going to apply that to patient care? Right? How do we, because they're not going to come with the answer. And you don't always know the answer, but you have to use this information in the past, to figure it out. So how to apply it, that takes time and experience, and that's the hard part.
Right. So when you're in med school, I know a little bit about the process, but why or how did you come to the idea to be like, hey, you know what, I want to do surgery? Like, how does that happen during your last few years?
Well, everyone's different, of course. for me, again, at Augustana, there was an opportunity to go to a medical mission trip in Guatemala. So the summer of my freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, I went to Guatemala 3 times with a group of surgeons from UT San Antonio. And they were surgeons. And I went down there and they were just, they were great leaders. They were very kind, and they were great surgeons. And I'm like, I just want to be just like them. I didn't shadow any surgeons growing up. I didn't know any surgeons growing up. I didn't hardly know any doctors. I went to a great physician assistant throughout so this was my first experience in the medical field. And I was like, gosh, I want to be just like them. So we went to Guatemala 3 times. I went by myself, and then I brought some other people with me with this team, the same team from San Antonio. And we went for 10 days, and it was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you speak Spanish?
No, and they didn't. They speak Quiche.
Oh, that part. Okay.
It's a little kind of a local dialect. I did take Spanish at Augustana from a Norwegian, but
it's cool.
But it was yeah. So that was funny.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And so after your last year, you have to go. What did they tell me? What did Mariah tell me? That you have to apply for resident. How does the process work?
Yeah. So you go to your college, right? Then you got to apply. Oh, I want to do med school. So then there's medical school interviews, right? So you go to all these places, you interview, prepare for the questions that they're going to ask you, which we didn't do. Right? But then you get accepted to a medical school. So then you start medical school. Every medical schools are like 4 years, right? So every medical school is, structured differently. How long you're like just in the classroom, or now we're integrating into the clinical or more hands-on. Every school is different. So then, at the 3rd or 4th year, you're kind of figuring out what do you want to do, right? You have to figure out if you're interested in pediatrics or family medicine or surgery or whatever. And then you applied for residency programs. So residency is different. It's years long, but you apply these different residency programs all over, right? Surgery residency is 5 years. The one I went to was 5 years, but I did a year research at the UC Moores Cancer Center in San Diego. So it was 6 years. And during that time, your first year residency is called your intern year. And then you kind of get more responsibilities and then by the time you graduate, you're a doc, right? So you're practicing doc by yourself independently. That's the important thing. And some people do a fellowship. You need even more training, right? So it's years.
Years
obviously.
And years.
Yeah.
Is it when you're doing when you're doing the internship, is it kind of like the show Grey's Anatomy, or is nothing like that?
No, I wouldn't know.
All right.
My wife loved that show, right? So she, no, it's not exactly like that. But I mean, you said yourself, these folks are working hard, right? I remember we had our first day of internship, and we were learning about all the military stuff and in San Diego, and the presenter was like, "Oh, make sure you go surfing." I'm like, I didn't see the beach until 6 years later. Right? So there's no opportunity. There's not a lot of opportunities for other things, but you get through it, and sometimes you're like, oh, how am I going to do this?
True.
And that's not just for residency; that's for life, right? So you just take it one day at a time, and you get through it.
How many hours were you working?
Yeah, so that when I was starting residency, there's there was just coming into restrictions about hours, right?
Oh, okay.
So it was like 80 hours a week was the max.
Yeah.
Before that, of course, there was no hour restrictions, but then that gets to be unsafe situations when people are driving. People get tired, obviously, and, never get used to being tired, right? So I remember the surgeon that I was with in Guatemala, he was like, I always thought I would get used to it. You never do. Right. Oh. And so I was like, oh, yeah, right. And I'm like, okay, yeah, he gets it. So
how come with, like, for example, with those rotations, isn't it just better to, well, you you could probably correct me. Isn't it better to like in a normal job? Okay, hey, you know what? If you guys want to just do only nights or this time for the whole entire time, that's fine. Or is it better doing like just different shifts?
Yeah, it depends on every like in residency, you go to a specific rotation where you're just focusing on colorectal surgery, for example, colon surgery, and you're just going to do that during the day. Maybe do a call and then you do your call shifts at night. So yeah, it's everywhere's different, but you want to get a wide breadth of experience to figure out what you want to do.
Oh, okay. Still okay. Yeah. Even during that internship, you're still not.
Yeah, you're still like people at internship. They're just they're figuring out what's left or right still, right? And so there's still some folks don't know what they want to do yet, and so this gives an opportunity to kind of do a little bit of everything.
Okay, is it common? For example, like some people right when they graduate from med school, they're like, you know what? I'm a doctor. I know everything, and then they start their internship. They're like, whoa, Sam, I don't know everything.
Or yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of humbling that goes on. You're humbled, right? So not many have this mindset, and then they know what they're getting into by that point, right? And so they just want to get through it and work and serve patients, right? So that's why we do this. That's why we want to serve and relieve suffering. So, yeah.
Okay. What kind of surgeries do you mainly do?
Yeah. So Sanford Vermillion, it's a small hospital. We're a critical access hospital, small. I'm the only surgeon here.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of other family docs as well. So I practice differently here than maybe what I did in the military, obviously. And we do a lot of, scopes, whether that's colonoscopy or EGDs, where we take a look at people's stomach, appendix, gallbladders, hernias, C-sections, lumps or bumps, hemorrhoids. So
sounds fun.
Yeah, right. So, but I see a lot of that, so this is rural surgery, right? And so we try to do, I always tell folks, we can do certain things really well, but we can't do everything.
Okay.
Right? Because we don't have all the specialists. We have some great family docs, great PAs and NPs, a surgeon. There's no other specialists, just us, right? So we can't do everything, but we can do certain things really well. And if we can't do it, we know, Sioux Falls is close, of course, where Sanford and other facilities are. So
okay. Are you also? Would it be considered like there's an emergency, like ER? Would they just call you?
Or there's the ER here, right? So if someone has an acute problem for anything, they can go to the ER, and there's someone there, whether it's a doc or a PA or NP working there, and they'll do appropriate workup, and then they can call wherever they need to go.
Okay. Are you always on call, or not really, or how does it work?
So usually I'm the only surgeon, right? So usually I'm on call during the week. Some days, like Tuesdays, where I'm not on call because my kids are in activities, right? So I want to leave town, maybe. So I go to Canton, South Dakota, twice a month to do scopes. So I do some outreach there, and then a couple weekends I get off. Otherwise, usually we're here, I'm on call. But the surgery practice, call is one thing, but you have your clinic, and that's where you meet people. You meet people first to say, oh, you need surgery or not. And that's where you do your pre-op and post-op patients. And then you have your OR schedule, and there's the ER that we kind of help out with. So there's 3 different things to it.
Okay.
Yeah. My parents always ask me, why do you have clinic? Aren't you a surgeon? Don't you just in the OR? No, I tell my parents, the most important thing is you meet them beforehand. You get a relationship. You figure out, do they need surgery or not? That's the hard part. Making the decision to operate is hard.
Okay. Doing
the surgery is not so much. And then taking care of them afterwards. So those are the 2 most important things: pre-op, taking care of them pre-op, and post-op. So it's just not all surgery. So yeah.
Okay. Is there a lot of paperwork, I'm guessing, too?
Oh, it's just normal stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Man, because I got my info from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, that's probably, I like the show. I think there's way too many seasons.
Yeah.
I stopped at like season 7 or something. Now there's like 20, whatever.
And they usually have good music, at least in the past. But yeah.
Yeah. And then, because me and my wife, we would watch it and we're like, man, is that the life of a doctor? Because that's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's not all like that, right? Like all intense and this and that? Or
Right. It can be. Of course, it's like highs and lows, right? Some days, it's just like work anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Some days are super intense. You're like, how am I going to get through this? Some days are like, oh man, I could do this for, forever. Right. So it's just like up and down, and you try to never too high, never too low. Right. You're just right here. Of course, they embellish things on the show so people watch it. Right. Right. So it's not quite like that. But it does get intense if you're operating at 2 a.m. with a few people. Let's say Sydney's there. There's a couple nurses, and there's no one else in the hospital except maybe a few floor nurses. It can get intense.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and you do enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy. We talk about relief suffering, and the biggest thing I love is serving the community, doing things here so they can stay here for their care. Right. So maybe they don't have to go somewhere else for their care. Right. We want people to stay here locally, and we want to take care of our community. Right. I live in this community. Mm-hmm. My family lives this. You live here. Right. So we want this. We want to be healthy. I talk about colonoscopy and colon cancer a lot. We do a lot of scopes. Why do we do colonoscopies? To prevent colon cancer, right? Because in a small town like Vermillion or wherever, if we lose someone to colon cancer that's preventable, I mean, it could be the banker. They're hard to replace.
Yeah.
Right. So we want to keep people healthy. And so that's what I really love, is keeping the community healthy and growing.
So since we're talking a little about the community, how come over these past years, I've been so interested with Vermillion.
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting town, because it's a university town.
Yep.
It's small. It's just different, which is not a bad thing. How come there's not too many, because we had the only med school. Well, now it's I could go on that one, but
Yep.
We'll see what happens with that. But let's, right now, currently, it's in Vermillion.
Yep.
How come, there's not a bunch of, more stuff with Sanford or other hospitals? How come, for example, they'll say oh, well, if there's an emergency or something, or hey, we take you to Sioux Falls. But wouldn't it be better if all of that hospital stuff was here, kind of?
Oh, sure. Then, they go to the ER here, right? Let's just say that something's super complicated. You need specialists. We don't have, a cardiologist here, right? We don't have an ICU, intensive care unit, right? So it would be better, but you could say that about any town of a size of 10,000 people. Why isn't there a huge facility, right? But we got 3 new docs this summer at Sanford Vermillion, right? So, I think we do great work. We don't have these big robots, right? Because we won't use them all the time, right? So it's not as about, right? So how do we create a balance between doing things really well, and then but not being able to do everything, right? So that's what
I guess you're right. Do things very well. I guess, it'd be like in any job, there's people that are specialized in something.
I mean, you could say this about why isn't there all these things here? Well, we're 10,000, 11,000 people, right? So, but that's what makes this community great, because it has a little bit of this and a little bit of that, right? So, it's an interesting dynamic. We've been here for 5 years, so we got 3 new docs this summer, which is unheard of, right? To have 3 new physicians come. So
okay, cool. Is there a shortage? Of doctors in the U.S. or?
Yeah, especially rural centers.
Really?
I think of myself as rural surgeon, right? And people say, "Oh yeah, rural, you're in Vermillion, yeah," but I'm the only surgeon here, right?
Wow, around this area. Okay, interesting.
There's surgeons, of course, in Yankton and Sioux City and Sioux Falls. And so, but why does that matter? Well, when something complicated comes in, who do you have to call to help, right? So where I was in Camp Pendleton before, I was a department head of 18 surgeons, right? So there was always someone else available, right? So, and the cardiologist was right down the hall, right? For example, I mean, you could take this any ways you want, but
okay,
yeah.
So wow, so since you're the only surgeon around this area, I'm guessing you have a lot. Well, a lot of people, and you could connect with them.
Sure, I guess I know a lot of folks, and in a small town, again, you get to know people just by your job, by what you do in the community, your church, so yeah.
Do you think, man, with this med school moving, the thing that I've always got a little, I mean, if I'm gonna be frank, the med school moving to Sioux Falls, it makes sense because, Sioux Falls is growing.
Sure.
They got all this stuff and, why wouldn't they go? I'm kind of bummed about it because, well, first of all, I work there.
Yeah. And
I don't want to drive to Sioux Falls every day for an hour and an hour back. It's very tedious. But I was wondering, like, do you think could it impact the community a bit or not too much or hopefully not?
Yeah, it's hard to say, right? Time will tell.
Yeah.
Med students were here 18 months, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, but it's not only med students, it's the faculty, right, that would move. I could see strategically, yeah, big picture, yeah, it makes sense. But when the med school has been here for, I don't know, decades, so Vermillion's very proud. We're very proud of who we are, right? And the med school has always been a part of that. So that's always, it's hard it'll be hard for the community, I think. So, but
yeah, I've been a little more vocal on it with some people, and it bums me out. It just bums me out, not because of work, well, a little bit. I'm just telling you, the drive it sucks.
Oh, sure, yeah, exactly. And when I moved to Vermillion in 2020, my colleagues, they went to the University of South Dakota Med School, and they were amazing doctors. They went to the med school here in Vermillion. I could name off names. Dr. Mary Jo Olson. She was here for for decades. She's a great surgeon. I mean, not a surgeon, great doc. Family doc. She delivered lots of babies here. She's a product of USD. So time will tell. But the folks that went to school here got a great education. They'll get a great education, of course, in Sioux Falls. But in the PA school, of course, I'm really involved with the physician assistant program here. So we'll be staying here, of course. So,
what would make I guess if someone is, they want to go to the medical field, how would they determine to go, oh, you know what, should I go the doctor route or should I go to that PA route?
Yeah, some folks want a little bit more flexibility, right? Maybe PA school is 2 years, right? Earlier today, or you and I talked about how long med school residency fellowship, right? It's like years. And, time is very valuable.
It is.
Right. So some folks like the flexibility. Some folks want to go to a very small town, like where I grew up, Volga. There was one physician assistant there that I went to, and some folks want to go back to their community and serve, and maybe that's their avenue to do that. So, yeah.
Okay. Funny thing is, with my daughter, if you ask her, how like kids, you say, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? This is what she says. She's been saying it for the past 2 years. She says it like this: I want to be an orthopedic. Yeah, sure. Orthopedic surgeon. Like, what? Where did you get that from?
Yeah.
Well, I tell her, like, you better study or something, because
she wants to be a bone doc.
Yeah. Right. I'm like, why the bones though? And I said, what, you don't want to be like a heart surgeon? She said, no, I want to be an orthopedic surgeon. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's interesting with kids, where do they get their ideas, what they want to do, and that's great that she knows. My kids, they're like, oh no, I don't want to do anything in medicine.
Really?
They're like, no, they are done with that. So, I have a sophomore and an 8th grader and a 5th grader, and they're just, maybe my 8th grader, maybe he wants to do something in medicine, but the others don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So,
do you know why?
No, I don't even think they know why yet. They just they want to do something else. So.
Well, I guess it's common for like sometimes, with like my dad's an electrician.
Yeah.
And he's doing great right now. I don't want to be an electrician. I never want to be an electrician. Well, first of all, I don't like getting shocked.
Right.
And if you like, I'm a weenie. especially now when it starts getting cold in the winter, like touching those metal. If you see me, like trying to open the door, you'll see me. I'll just go like this first. I do it with every single door because I hate getting shocked.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just can't do it. I wouldn't follow
and
those.
my fifth grader, I guess she wants to be an art teacher. She grew up in my family is my parents, again, my brother and sister are teachers. And she's like, oh, I want to be an art teacher. I'm like, oh, that's great. You do that. Because as a teacher, you get to influence so many kids, so many people growing up. You get to, as a doctor, you kind of do one person at a time. But I always think for teachers, I mean, they do great work. And I'm very proud of what they've done. And quick story, I remember I interviewed at a place in Minnesota. And after I interviewed there for when I was coming back to the Midwest, the surgeon there called me and said, you know what, you want to come to Minnesota because we have great public school systems, even better than South Dakota. And I said, dude, my parents are teachers. I'm very proud of what they've done and what they're doing. Same with my brother and sister. I'm like, from that time on, I was really also set on Vermillion. So, yeah.
He just offended you.
Exactly. What is this person? Did they read all my stuff I gave them? Right? Because I talk about it all the time. I'm very proud of where I've come from. So I like to talk about it often.
Do you talk down on North Dakota?
Exactly. So yeah, you gotta be careful.
Sweet. See, I do like, man, it's just so funny. Like for me, and like I was talking to my sister yesterday. She was like, Boyle. My nickname is Boyle. If people want to know him, he's Chicken. I don't know why. She's like, Boyle, I would have never thought that you would end up in South Dakota. It's just so unreal. And even me, I'm like, of all the places, I am in South Dakota. It's just so strange. Everyone's in Texas or Mexico. Yeah. Some in California.
Right.
And I'm like the only one that ended up here. And I like it, except I'm still going to complain.
The winter.
The winter's just, man, it's just, for me, it's just brutal.
Yeah. That's when you can hear the cold, right? Yeah. Interesting point too. Like that's what life is. You end up places, you're like, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
Right. So when we're driving, my wife and I were driving to San Diego, it's 2009. I'm starting residency, but I'm also in the military, right? So I'm doing two things that I have no idea what's it going to be like. And I remember when I first learned that we were going to San Diego, my wife cried. Oh, because she had a great job in Minneapolis. She's a tax accountant. And we got there like, how are we really doing this? Like, yeah, we're really here in San Diego. Like here, yes, you're really here in South Dakota. And then we went to Guam. I'm like, are we really? Yes, we're in Guam with my kids, 3 kids, and my daughter's 6 months old, right? So, and then you just do it, right? And you never know where you're going to end up. So.
Yeah, it's so surprising. You said your wife is an accountant?
She was an accountant. Yeah, she went to Augie to get her accounting. She doesn't do that anymore, but she was. Yeah.
Okay, my wife is an accountant.
Oh yeah,
yeah. She works. She's one of the accountants at USD.
Oh yeah,
man, she is smart.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that's one of the things. How did she end up with me?
Right.
That's
well, accountants. I'm like good books. I can read, take a test, but they're just smart, right? They're very abstract thinkers, and they can really get down to the numbers.
I don't know how she that's how Myra thinks. She thinks like numbers based, and like right now, so she usually takes care of the finances stuff,
right?
Except this month for September, I'm trying to take care of it. Man, I am way lost.
Right.
I haven't told her yet because she keeps telling me, she's like, how's everything going? I'm like, everything's good. It's not going that great. She has to, I'll tell her by the end of the month. But she's just so numbers based.
Right.
And like data and I don't know, and organized.
Right. And spreadsheets. My wife's really big in this. Oh, look at all this spreadsheet. I'm like, oh, okay, that looks great, but what's next, right?
That's what she has. Same thing. She has a spreadsheet. She has a spreadsheet for the budget, which is great.
Yeah.
When we did our spending with when we do our food stuff, she has that. She has with a house, whatever. Yeah. She has everything. Yep. Me, and I've said it many times, I'm more go with the flow. She's so it's great that she plans everything out, and I don't. I'm just like, hey, whatever happens, which is bad. I need to kind of.
Yeah, complement each other well.
Yeah, that helps. But the super strange thing. So she's really into food, as in she cooks. She's an amazing cook.
Right.
Mexican food. I'm not saying it's the best around here, but it is the best. But she, with the cooking, I would think she would just follow a recipe, but she doesn't. She's one of those people that cooks with the heart.
Right.
Like she could change it, and I don't know how she does it. Me, I love baking, but I have to follow the recipe.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's so strange how on food we kind of shift.
Right. It is interesting because I'm more of follow exactly the directions, right? And so she's not either. So yeah.
Yeah, super. I don't know how that works, but it's strange how, or I don't know, maybe I got it from her and she got it from me. But yeah, we do kind of complement each other a bit. But most of the time she's always right and I'm always wrong. I don't know if it's a guy thing. Tell me this, Jacob. Has this ever happened? When your wife is talking to you, she's just talking to you, but you just don't, it's not like you're listening, but it just comes out like one ear.
Yeah.
Is that a normal thing?
I think so. And
all right, you hear that, Myra?
Just say, it can go the other way too, right? So, I have to. My wife will now just kind of step back and say, "Okay, are you ready for me to have this discussion with you yet or not?" Because sometimes I'm not, right? Or if I want to have a discussion with her, maybe she's not ready, right? We have to. Are we ready now to have this, or do we have to just wait a little bit? So, especially after like whatever work, or you had a big meeting and you just want to come home and you're not ready. You just have to reset. So, yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. So, one time, my dad gave me I thought it was amazing advice until this happened. He told me this. He says, when you're married and your wife is talking to you, like in the living room, she's going to talk to you. Just, go like this, shake your head, and then throw out like a every so often. So, I did that. When me and Myra got married, she was talking to me. And we were in the apartment. We were in the living room watching TV, and she's talking to me about something. And then I threw that out. I'm like, And this is what she says. What did I say?
Couldn't repeat it.
Yeah, right? I was like, what? I don't know. She's like, you weren't listening. So I told my dad that. I was like, hey, I did the thing. He's like, how'd it go? She said, what did I say? He's like, that never happens.
Right.
So I don't know how my parents are.
Well, I think that's a way to show that you really understand something, right? So like in the clinic, if I am trying to discuss my recommendations with a patient, I'll say, okay, can you just repeat them back to me? So we make sure we both are understanding them. So yeah, I think that's a good thing to show that, oh yes, I understand and we're on the same page. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any misconceptions people have with doctors or surgeons? Like the misconception I had was like, oh snap, all of them are making millions of dollars and living that glam life. Yeah. But I'm guessing it's not all like that.
Yeah, it's not all like that. Yeah, I mean, you could say that about, businessmen or, athlete or, one misconception I always think is, sometimes folks see me around town during the workday. Right. But for me, like I might have been doing something in the middle of the night. Right. So I'm always on. Right. So I'm kind of come and go and we have our normal work day, but then you could be coming back in the afternoon or evening or in the middle of the night too. So I think we're always on. Right. So that's something I always, and I don't like to have too many obligations because then you could say, oh yeah, so well, I plan to do that at 2:00, but then what if something comes in the ER and you can't come? Right. So there's always, I'm always saying about that, making sure I don't spread myself out too thin because then if something comes in, they're like, oh, Dr. Quail could be here. Well, yeah, something going on. At least for the patients too, I always think patients, I'll go back to colonoscopies here for a second to prevent colon cancer. People say they're healthy. That, yes, they're healthy and they don't need it because they're healthy. I said, no, we want to keep you that way. So these are certain things we needed to do to prevent future complications. So we want to make sure you get the colonoscopy, you get your labs done to maintain to keep you healthy. Mm-hmm. So
what are some ways to prevent that colon cancer?
Yeah, a big thing is, age 45, get screened for colon cancer. And one of the ways you do that is colonoscopy and we look for polyps, little growths in the colon. Why do we care about polyps? Well, they can grow into cancer, right? So we want to get the polyps out when we see them. And then other people do a stool test. It's called a Cologuard. Maybe you've seen the commercials for Cologuard. And Cologuard looks for abnormal DNA. That could mean you have a polyp or even a cancer in there. So.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Is it, so what, let's say I do one.
Yep.
And then there is polyps and all that.
Yep.
What's the next steps?
Yeah. So let's say we do a colonoscopy. You find polyps, or I find polyps. I take them out. So we take them out at that time.
Oh, and that's it?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then we send them to the lab, and there's different types of polyps, which we won't talk about. But the big thing is just getting those polyps out, right? Because the polyps are like the precursors to cancer. So we want to get them out when they're small.
Okay. So. Huh. Interesting. Now, when you do surgery, like, do you ever look back and be like, whoa, snap, I'm doing surgery, or what's it like? Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, even when you've been doing it, you're like, oh yeah, we're going to take out this appendix and they're going to feel better afterwards. Right. Or so I have that feeling sometimes we do a C-section, then you go to your kids, it's like football game right afterwards. You're like, oh yeah, or help you. Then you go back to, having a discussion about what to have for dinner or math homework. Right. Getting the math homework done or getting the kids to show choir practice or whatever. Right. So that's a little surreal sometimes, but it's like, it's your job. Right.
It's so I guess it's just a normal routine.
Yeah.
Now.
It's a normal routine.
Do you remember like the first time you ever did surgery or something?
Yeah. I guess now that you said that, I remember watching one, I guess in Guatemala, we go back to that. And again, I was like, oh my gosh, these are great people. Great surgeons, great leaders. I want to be just like them. I was like, oh, and again, that's how I got into the field. So,
man, see, the closest thing I went to do surgery was when I was working in the lab before the job I got. I was I worked with XJ Wong. He does, his stuff is cardiovascular, and they got mice. And I did some of those like surgeries on hearts. Yeah, on the heart mice. And oh, snap. Yeah, they're small.
Right.
And I remember being so scared because the students were like kind of showing me, and then I was on, I did it, and then I was on my own on some of the stuff. And like the mice are alive, and then you stitch them up. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I'm like, man, if I could do this on a mouse, I could do it on a human. But I was like, no, I probably can't do that. That's the closest thing I've been to, and video games.
Yeah, I did. And I go back to, again, it's cool because you get to relieve suffering, right? You want to get people back. In the military, we need to get people back to the field like 2 weeks ago, right? So our goal was to like get them back so they can continue to serve. And that's the way I look at it with the community. We want to get you back in the community so you can continue with your job or, be with your family. So I think that I take it really seriously. And that's what I love about it.
Cool. So besides your work, what else do you do like for fun or on your spare time?
Yeah, I guess I got my 3 kids, and they're in various activities. So we take them around. We love to travel. We traveled a lot when we were in Guam because it was relatively cheap, and we were already over there in the Pacific, so we could go. We went to, Hong Kong and Singapore and Bali and, Tokyo, of course. And so we love to travel now, not to those places. Now they're too far, right? But we like to travel, and I said I did the margarita ride. I like to bike. I used to do some triathlons and did a marathon before.
Ooh, how was that?
Yeah, that was a lot. But I don't train like because that takes a lot of time. And I love to read. And I said my family's here now, so they're closer. It was hard when they were so far away, right? That your family's not all here, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard, right? So it's good to when you go back to South Dakota, I can go back to the farm, which is, a very peaceful place for me, or go back to my parents have a lake cabin in Lake Madison, so we can go there with the family, and yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Even though I say, man, I don't want to go back to Texas.
Yeah.
I do when we were there for September or Labor Day. It was great being with my parents. And also we got to see, because They did a little surprise baby shower for my wife. So we didn't expect that. And then all my cousins, it was fun. It was great. And then we got to hang out. We went to a Topgolf. First time I went golfing.
Yeah.
I hurt my ankle. I don't know how. And then I felt I'd never done golfing. Yeah. And it was fun. And just hanging out with them. Right. And it is. And I remember the time we went there again was on Thanksgiving. And then we left. I was a little sad. I was like, because they're my cousins. I know my cousins. They're like my siblings. Right. You grew up with them. Right. And then it's like, but it's a good thing. Like, you got phones, video games, like I mentioned, we play online. Right. We still connect. I think it's a little more tougher for Myra because most of her family's, almost all of them are in Mexico. Right. But a good thing we went over the summer to see them. Or a year ago. My bad. It was a year ago. Right. Hopefully we could do more stuff like that eventually. We're still young. Well, youngish. We just turned 30. But
that's good to, I would think, we were gone. It's good to get out and, see something different, South Dakota for you or, or where we were. It's like a different experience and you can always come back, so I think that for my kids, I'm like, okay, it's great. You can be here and then you're going to get out of here. You're going to get out.
Go fly.
I love Vermillion, but I want you to get out and then, see the world. And then you can kind of figure out what you want to do then. Mm. So, yeah.
Yeah, I tell that to my daughter. I tell her, I say, when you're 18, you're out of here, man. Right. Get out of it. But no, she can stay. Yeah, but she says she wants to live here forever.
Yeah.
She says she wants to. Well, it's weird because she says, like how she said, she wants to be an orthopedic surgeon, but she also wants to become a mechanical engineer. I don't know where she's getting all this. Like all these, I thought she was going to say, I want to be a princess or something.
Well, that makes sense. Orthopedics, they're very mechanical, right? They fix bones, right? So it's a very mechanical thing. So that makes sense. Now you say that now.
Oh yeah, that does make sense. Mm-hmm. I know, like, for example, I'm doing some stuff around the house and she's like, can I help? And she's, I'm showing her stuff with the drill and this and that, or she wants to build something. I'm like, huh, okay. But then she'll hang out with some of like her baby dolls and I'm like, oh, what do you want to do? So it's strange.
Yeah, I think you got something there. They use lots of tools, orthopedic docs. So they're using all tools all the time, replacements. So yeah, I think you got something there.
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe she could do, hey, follow your dreams.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
There you go. Follow your dreams.
Just get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here, please. No, I love her.
No, yeah.
And then, because I thought, because she's 10, and I was thinking, oh, when she's 18, I would be 38. Right. I'm like, oh, snap. Now we could do whatever we want. But no, I'm just saying that. But now we have another kid on the way. Yeah. So I'm like, of course I'm happy, but I'm like, dang it. I was gonna, go travel and this and that. But no, it's gonna be fun. I hope so. It's a baby boy. We don't know. We still haven't picked out a name.
Yeah.
Myra doesn't like my names. I said, do you like Raphael? She's like, Donatello. I said Michelangelo. She's like, are you naming like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I'm like, no, they're famous people.
Yes, exactly. No, I love that. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. I'm very nervous because December 16th, around that time. Yeah. I don't know, but I think Myra said, not Avera. She said Sioux Falls in Sanford. Or she said Sioux Falls. I don't know, but she said, wherever we're at right now, she said, we have to go to Sioux Falls, I think.
Sure.
So, I don't know. I'm nervous because, it's December. I don't know if it snows, but.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But now that I know, if worst case scenario, like if we can't go there, we got good people.
You got good people here. Yeah, we got a good team.
All right, so I am excited about that. But man, it's been a wild few months, few weeks. I had some people over the past few weeks because a lot of them ask me. They say, "Hey, is this your full-time job?" I'm like, no. I wish it was my full-time job. I work at the USD.
Right. Yeah,
but I keep thinking, like, man. Even now, I don't even know what I want to be. Like, usually I'm supposed to figure that stuff out. I like my boss, Dr. Huber, the Bryn stuff. It's actually, it's so cool. Like the stuff they do, and especially he's so flexible and all that stuff. But even now I'm like, man, what do I want to do? I applied at, and not because I actually like my job. Well, I'm not passionate about it, but it's fine. Like I like it. It's great. It's flexible. I like it, especially my boss. I think that's what helps, having a good boss.
Yeah, good team. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, because my wife, she asked me, she said, why don't you apply at USD Foundation? They have a annual giving officer or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't look at it, and I said, why though? And she says, well, you talk to people all the time. I think it'll be a great fit. And I was like, I don't know. And I was looking at it, I was like, I'll see. Because, they're asking money. The other experience I have is when I worked at Best Buy. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty great at it, but I was more honest. Yeah. I wasn't like, oh yeah, you need a MacBook. No. I was very honest with these people. So I applied, it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, right before Labor Day. I sent my resume to Joe, from the foundation. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm thinking, they're not gonna call me. There's no way. Because I've applied at so many places throughout the years. No one's ever called at everywhere else, just to see what happens. And then when I come back on a Wednesday, they say, hey, you want to schedule an interview? First of all, I thought it was a scam.
Yeah.
And then I looked, I was like, oh, snap. So I had my interview on the Friday. Yeah, Friday, a week ago with Joe. And, I actually told him too, I was like, I didn't think you guys were going to call me. So,
but that's what you do. You just apply, right? You just do it. Right. So that's how you just, it's okay if people say no, or, but then there's opportunities out there. You never know. Right. So you do have a lot of connections. This is your side gig.
Yeah.
Right. Which you're very good at. So
hopefully, but just like how right when we started, when you mentioned, like, we just got to ask.
Yeah.
Cause another thing, that when I was talking with Rodney about when I did his episode for the ribs rods, I told him we did it last year, like a little thing. Can we do it again? But we asked, hey, is there like a budget or something? Cause we would like to try everything, but I got bills to pay.
Yeah.
I mean, he saw the video and said, yeah, we'll sponsor you. I was like, oh, snap. So me and Mason, we split it half and half, a small little thing. Oh, snap. And I know my Myra, she's like, you need to like ask for like sponsorships. I just don't know how to do it. But I probably should just ask.
Yeah, just ask.
Yeah. And maybe this might turn out to be a full-time thing. There's a lot of stuff I want to do. I like this stuff. There's other things. There's a lot of things I like doing, especially, when I post this stuff.
Yeah.
I put it on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, post on the South, I post on Reddit. So there's the South Dakota Reddit.
Oh yeah.
And that one's been good. It shows, cause there's a Vermillion one, and then I'll cross post it with South Dakota, and there's the last time I checked, 33,000 members, on that South Dakota Reddit, and they can see it. They'll see the stuff, and hopefully they're clicking. So spreading awareness, especially the town, South. I like it. I like getting involved.
Exactly. You just got to get out there, right? And just put it out there, and and then people can learn what you do, and then it just is like momentum, right? Like a snowball, like your favorite season, right?
Yeah, yeah. I like that. Yeah, and it just trying new things.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I've been doing too. Trying to try new things. Especially like when we did the food thing, like that stuff worked out, and trying this, just starting small. You don't know what's going to happen.
No. And I remember working in the lab at the UC San Diego Moores Cancer Center. And I was asking the people, how do you know where to start, what to do? How do you get successful at one thing? Is like, how do you do that? You do like 7 or 8 things. You do 7 or 8 things in the lab or in life, and then you figure out what works, what doesn't, and you just do that. You never know at the beginning what you're going to do. Not once. You have to try it out, and then you kind of narrow it as time goes on. So that was good advice.
Yeah, I think it's also better for me, I think it's better to fail than not try it all.
Oh, for sure.
Know. But yeah, I think it's that thing. Sometimes we're just a little scared.
Exactly. And failure is a funny thing too. On my CV, I put, we're supposed to put only the good things on your CV. Mm-hmm. I also put in a few things where I failed in life. And so that's living, right? So do you appreciate where you failed? And then do you acknowledge it? And then are you okay sharing that? So I think that's super important too, because you're never going to be successful at every little thing, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Man, Should be a motivational speaker
No,
too.
I'm not a good speaker.
Really?
I'm not a good speaker. No. So.
You're great. It seems like you're great at telling stories too.
No.
What?
So just like I had a residency director say, you're not a good teacher. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, my parents failed, right? Put that on your CV.
You don't want to be you don't want to be a professor at USD, or are you? Do you also teach?
No, well, I just in clinical settings, right? So we have the farm students, of course, the farm. So we have farm students here and there. They come over. We do this, surgery stuff, and PA students come, and so yeah.
Okay. So what do you? I don't know. What do you see yourself? Is there like a goal? Like, do you want to? I don't know. Keep doing what you're doing, or
yeah, that's a hard thing, and because in the military it was easy. You're always promoting, right? You're always working toward the next promotion, and I had just promoted actually to commander, but then I decided to get out, so I didn't put it on. But and that was like kind of easier in the civilian world. Now I'm like, okay, well, I have that question a lot. What is next? Because it's just like you're just working, and that's different from where I was previously. And I'm still working through that 5 years in, but and then you think, well, man, it's just about the journey. It's not about what's the end, right? You're just working. You never know where you're going to end up. So I think that's again, it's about the journey and where you're working. Like someday, like Jose, you ended up in South Dakota, so and your journey's not done. It's not done here, right? Yeah. So, I think about that a lot.
Yeah, I do think about it too. Cause before, like when we got here, it's a great example because, I'm here, I'm working, and, my wife, she still wasn't working, but, she's doing her thing. I'm like, hey, this is great. It's a normal routine. But then later I'm like, I want to do more. I want to do something different. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's because husband, man, or just whatever, but I don't know. It's not like I don't know, or maybe I like a little bit of change, or I don't know. Maybe it's me because I never have a plan.
Right.
It's just, I can't explain it. I like trying. I want to do something. Not do something different, but I want to try new things.
Yeah. And you got time, right? You're 30. Mm-hmm. Right. So there's lots of time. You gotta, your daughter wants to be an orthopedic surgeon, right? You can help her get there. Right. So that's one thing.
Yeah, I'm sending you with Dr. Quail right now. Let's go. Start them young.
So it's interesting. You never know, what's next. You just keep doing. It's a journey, and it's never just done. Right. So.
Yeah. There's one thing that especially because I try to get involved. I like, seeing what's going on with the community. It was I guess the last technically election cycle they had here.
Yep.
The thing, I mentioned it before a while back. I wanted to do city council. I just wanted to try it. But then I chickened out right when I got the petition. I got the petition because everyone's, oh, you'll be great in this and that. And then I found out there was 2 other people running. I was like, I was like, that's my excuse. Someone's better than me. But then lately, and I don't know, I'll probably chicken out again. I was thinking, well, first of all, now technically I don't live in Vermillion. I live, I guess technically, I live in the county now.
Yeah.
It's not even that far. It's like a minute away. But I was like, oh, what about Clay County Commission? But then I was like, I don't know. But maybe not. Am I reaching too high? What do they do? Or maybe I could start something small. I know someone mentioned too, why don't you do like school board? I'm like, maybe. But I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to serve too. I think about that. Like, I thought about that too. Like, what else should I be doing? Where can I? But you're serving. I think you're serving the community by doing what you're doing, right here, right? By getting folks here and getting the word out. What's happening in Vermillion? That great video we had, Rib Driving Rock and Roll.
Thanks.
So that's one thing. Yeah, and then you just apply, right? Just do it, right? Yeah. And then maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, and but that's we're very civic minded, right? How do we serve? How do we do more? And how do we get involved? And I think that's super important. I think that's what's another good thing about Vermillion is there's a lot of folks that think that way, right? How they're very civic minded. And I think that's what makes Vermillion a great place.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities here, and I've talked to talked to so many people. One of them wants to do stuff with, something with a biotech company. I'm like, let's do it. I don't know how, but let's do it. Or there's another one wants to do this. I'm like, let's do this. Or so this. And there's a lot of ideas. Just for me, I'm like, okay, like there is another idea. I'm like, okay, but what's the next step? Like, I actually don't know what to do. But I think that's when you just have to like talk to people and figure it out. But a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there was another quick story. There was a historical marker on the highway on Cherry Street. Mm-hmm. This right by the Lions Park. And it was run down. This was last year. It looked really run down. And I kept driving by it. I'm like, I'm sick. I can't stand the way this looks. It looks like it's super old. It's from 1966. You can't even read it. And I'm like, I don't even know how I would go about getting it refurbished and replaced. So I went looking and went to the Rotary Club because the Rotary Club in 1966 placed that there. So next time you go by Cherry Street, you're going to have to look at this historical marker. But I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to get it refurbished. So I went to the state and I talked to Ted Munster. He was on this podcast, of course. And I went to Rotary. And we actually we took this sign down. The highway department did. They took it down. They sent it to Ohio to get it refurbished. And then we got it back. And now it looks great. But when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I had no idea how to work through it. It took over a year, right, to get this thing done. But I can really relate to like, how do we figure this problem out?
Yeah. I think it's that, just talking. And then like another thing I had, and I posted a while back, I was like, hey, what do you guys think about, for example, like a community, I just threw it out like, hey, a community softball event with people, this and that, but in the dark, or like at night, like glow in the dark, I don't know, something crazy, something fun. And people were like, yeah. And I was like, well, let me I remember I talked with John Quail about it. And, and then I talked with John from the USD athletic director, and he said, hey, you should talk to this. I was like, oh, snap. So I didn't get too far. I stopped. But I was like, oh, snap. So there are people interested with some stuff, and it's just organizing it.
Right, exactly. It's like, how do you get that next step? But you made connections along the way, right, to help you through the next thing that you want to do, whatever that is, right? So that's what I always think. You make more connections. You figure out who has the answers to, help you win a small part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what's also kind of trying to drive me a little bit is that ribs rods. Yeah. Just because I saw it's so organized, like it's the community organizing it, and you got all these people being part of it. I'm like,
it was a great event, right? It was well attended.
Big.
Yeah. It was a big event. And so
hopefully it keeps growing, stuff like that. And more people will come. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. I do like the community. That's why I guess that's why I'm trying to get involved. That's why
you do this. Yeah.
Yeah, I get this stuff. But see, I said we were going to talk for an hour. It's been like an hour and 13 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But is there any last words, anything you want to give out?
No, I think that we've been through a lot. So
yeah, but I think I'll end it. But yeah, thanks a lot, Jacob.
Yeah, thanks for having me.